I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I can show you the world.
This report examines the career trajectory of Jordan, a 13-year-old vocalist who secured a direct path to the finals on America's Got Talent. Her 2020 appearance on the Champions season prompted judges to immediately award the highly coveted Golden Buzzer following a historically significant acoustic musical performance. What followed next was a massive industry shift surrounding a singer whose soulful vocal stylings captured a global audience. Heavily inspired by legends like Billie Holiday and Amy, her evolution represents a modern industry case study. We track the timeline of her rapid rise. The turning point came when she realized her distinct jazz-infused sound demanded a unique approach to distribution and performance. Transitioning from a celebrated child prodigy to a fiercely independent artist required navigating complex industry dynamics over several years. Her story highlights significant changes in how modern vocalists build and sustain long-term careers. Viewers will understand how early exposure shaped her ultimate decision to reject traditional label structures in favor of complete creative control. January 10, 2006 marked the birth of Jordan in Oslo, Norway. Throughout her highly formative developmental years, diverse geographical experiences across multiple continents shaped her foundational understanding of the world and heavily informed her eventual artistic output. Residences in Norway, Los Angeles, and the Middle East provided a broad cultural backdrop for her developing musical talent. And this is where things changed regarding her artistic influences and early vocal development. Rather than leaning into contemporary pop sounds typical of young performers, she absorbed the complex styles of mid-century jazz and soul music. Developing a deep appreciation for artists who communicated profound emotion, her vocal stylings naturally drifted toward heavier, more mature soundscapes. What followed was a commitment to a specific sonic identity that completely her young age. Audiences worldwide would soon discover a voice that carried the weight of seasoned performers. These years built a critical professional foundation. Her Norwegian roots and international upbringing remained a central component of her identity as she prepared to step onto a highly visible competitive stage. Global attention arrived suddenly. At a mere 7 years old, she selected Billie Holiday's complex and emotionally heavy track Gloomy Sunday for her initial television appearance on Norway's Got Talent. Delivering the piece with startling maturity, the performance immediately went viral across international digital platforms. The turning point came when audiences recognized her innate ability to interpret complicated jazz standards without formal training. Progressing rapidly through the competition, she dominated the subsequent rounds and ultimately secured the championship title by the time she turned 8. George's classic composition Summertime served as her final winning performance, officially cementing her permanent status as a legitimate vocal prodigy within the highly competitive European television landscape. What followed next was an influx of global media attention directed at the young Norwegian artist. This victory validated her unconventional musical preferences and demonstrated the broad commercial appeal of her jazz-infused interpretations. It became entirely clear that her talent extended far beyond a momentary viral novelty. International producers and talent scouts immediately began monitoring her progress and vocal development. One specific visual element consistently defined her live performances from her earliest auditions through her mature career stages. Audiences quickly noticed that always performed without footwear on every stage she commanded. She commanded every stage entirely barefoot. This stylistic choice originated from a deeply personal childhood interaction rather than a calculated marketing strategy. She befriended a young, shoeless girl and subsequently gave the child her own footwear. And this is where things changed for her stage presence, as she made a personal vow to perform without shoes in honor of that young girl. Maintaining this deep personal commitment through her rapid international rise to fame, she continued honoring the childhood vow on the world's most prominent and highly televised reality platforms. What followed next was the establishment of a recognizable trademark that separated her from heavily styled contemporary pop acts. The Barefoot performances added a layer of vulnerability and grounding to her complex jazz vocalizations. It became a permanent symbol of her artistic authenticity and personal integrity, remaining a constant visual anchor throughout her evolving professional career. Establishing a consistent digital presence became the primary focus following her Norwegian television victory. Between 2015 and 2019, she systematically published vocal performances on YouTube to maintain engagement with her growing international fan base. Releasing 2 distinct musical projects titled The EP and It's Magic, she provided audiences with studio-recorded evidence of her evolving vocal control. The turning point came when she secured an appearance on the first season of Little Big Shots in 2016. This specific national broadcast successfully introduced her distinctly jazz-influenced vocal style to a massive American television audience, significantly expanding her core demographic reach far beyond traditional European borders. She strategically relocated to California. Relocating to Los Angeles in 2018 for educational purposes positioned her directly inside the American entertainment industry hub. What followed next was a strategic period of preparation and refinement as she transitioned from a child star into a teenage vocalist. Operating out of California allowed her management to navigate upcoming opportunities within the United States market. This calculated set the necessary groundwork for her eventual return to high-stakes international vocal competitions. 13 years old marked her return to the competitive spotlight on America's Got Talent, the champions in 2020, facing an established judging panel consisting of Sophia, and she prepared a massive artistic risk. Selecting Queen's legendary stadium rock anthem Bohemian Rhapsody, she planned and executed a precise vocal delivery completely divorced from the original studio track's famous operatic and bombastic energy. And this is where things changed regarding public perception of her musical intelligence. Instead of replicating the famous operatic sections, she presented a heavily stripped-down acoustic arrangement. Driven entirely by piano and acoustic guitar and her own haunting vocals, the performance stripped the iconic song down to its emotional core. What followed was an reinterpretation that demanded total silence from the massive studio audience. True to her childhood vow, she executed this career-defining arrangement entirely barefoot on the prestigious stage. This calculated stylistic pivot demonstrated a level of artistry rarely seen in standard reality television audition formats. She redefined a global stadium anthem. Immediate validation arrived without hesitation. Judge slammed the golden buzzer, sending the teenage vocalist directly into the television finale. However, the most significant endorsement emerged from far beyond the confines of the reality television studio. The official Twitter account representing the band Queen actively retweeted her audition video to millions of followers. Adding the caption, "Wow, what a rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody," the legendary rock group officially sanctioned her interpretation. The turning point came as public consensus fiercely echoed this high-level industry praise across massive digital platforms. Viral digital articles dissecting the complex vocal arrangement frequently cited one specific YouTube commenter who accurately captured the overwhelming global sentiment regarding the stripped-down musical interpretation. The commenter noted that Freddie Mercury explicitly encouraged artists to do whatever they wanted with his music, provided they did not make it boring. What followed next was widespread agreement that Mercury would have highly approved of her distinct version. A January 2025 review further cemented the performance's legacy, stating she transformed the fan-favorite anthem into a smooth, riveting ballad. Securing copyright permission to release her specific acoustic arrangement of the Queen anthem marked a massive legal and artistic victory. Reaching the top 10 of the Champions season with a performance of John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road concluded her television run. This initiated her major label era. Signing an official contract with Republic Records in 2020 placed her firmly within the traditional music industry machine. And this is where things changed regarding her production value and collaborative opportunities over the next 3 highly publicized years. Working alongside high-profile industry figures like Gad and the renowned Norwegian production duo, she successfully released her highly anticipated major label lead single Million Miles. Another prominent release from this period included the track Love Don't Let Me Go. Elevated social and industry status accompanied these major label operations, leading to international high society invitations. November 2023 saw her formally presented as a debutante at Bal in Paris. What followed was a period of intense reflection regarding her true artistic identity and her long-term goals outside the standard label system. Deep artistic independence ultimately drove her away from the mainstream recording establishment she had recently entered. Beyond her vocal capabilities, she operated as a multi-instrumentalist who played the piano, violin, guitar, and flute while also practicing as a painter. The turning point came between 2024 and 2025 when she executed a highly publicized exit from Republic Records. Transitioning completely away from the major label system, she established operations under her own independent banner, Kite Records. What followed next was an incredibly prolific period of recording that shocked industry observers with its rapid output. Operating entirely within a tight 6-month recording window stretching between late 2025 and early 2026, she successfully released 3 distinct independent studio albums in rapid succession. This rapid succession trilogy consisted of Secret of the Soul, a Christmas project titled Secret of the Star, and finally, Secret of Love. Reclaiming her creative output allowed her to bypass standard industry release schedules and deliver music directly to her audience. This pivot reshaped her entire trajectory. Operating independently fundamentally secured her career narrative and business acumen moving forward. Absolute independence proved highly lucrative. Her metrics rapidly surpassed 129 million accumulated streams by April 2026. Documentaries tracking her Kite Records releases confirmed her massive digital footprint and her ability to generate high engagement without major label support. Currently headlining a residency at the International Theater at the Resort in Las Vegas, she commands physical audiences with equal success. Fan footage from late January 2026 provided concrete evidence of her robust live presence. And this is where things change regarding her relationship with the traditional music establishment, generating unverified industry friction. Pop culture commentary highlighted alleged smear campaigns orchestrated by established major labels who felt deeply threatened by her independent financial success and its potential impact on Grammy voting systems. Regardless of these industry rumors, she remains a dominant subject within the YouTube reaction economy. Vocal coaches continuously utilize her performances to analyze her technique and document her resurgence. From a young jazz singer in Norway to an independent Las Vegas headliner, her timeline defines an artist operating entirely on her own terms.